Ethan O'Brien reporting there. I'm now joined by Alexander Nekrasov, a former Kremlin advisor, and from Washington by Kyle Shideler from the Center for Security Policy. First to you tonight, Kyle Shideler. Are we very close to war tonight?
I don't think so. President Trump, obviously, very strong words for President Putin. However, he's signaled that he's taking a serious look at how he wants to approach this issue. The Russians know that the use of chemical weapons by the Syrians is a very real red line for President Trump. He has enforced it once before with military strikes and has indicated that he is willing to do so again. But how that moves forward, we have yet to see. I think we will see some kind of robust action, but I don't think we'll see any sort of broader escalation in Syria.
Mind you, if he's talking about red lines, what is a red line other than that he's going to breach it? What is his red line?
Well, this is about enforcing against the use of chemical weapons. Obviously, President Obama very famously in 2013 said he had a red line on the use of chemical weapons, and when it was violated, he did essentially nothing. Instead, he tried to negotiate. He brought the Russians into Syria, allowing them to guarantee the behavior of the Syrians, and claimed to have removed all of the chemical weapons from Syria. Of course, the reality is that didn't happen. When President Trump took office, and the Syrians were reported to have used chemical weapons, he struck Syrian targets quite seriously, and that at least led to some delay. Now we're seeing them testing the water again, possibly, and so if the evidence does indicate that this was a Syrian strike with the use of chemical weapons, I think we can expect that President Trump will enforce that red line again.
Alexander Nekrasov, do you accept that the world cannot stand idly by when chemical weapons are used against innocent citizens?
I accept the fact that if chemical weapons are used against innocent civilians, the guilty party should be punished in a very severe way. Unfortunately, there is no proof about President Assad using chemical weapons, and there is no proof because the inspectors have not even arrived yet to Syria. And how on earth you can jump to conclusions like that without even getting any evidence, I find it really, really disturbing.
But already, Alexander Nekrasov, President Macron today, France said it had evidence that it was a chemical weapon used. The WHO itself said the effects of chemical weapons was what they were seeing from the citizens and children going into the health centres in Syria.
Well, unfortunately, these videos were made many times by rebels who possess chemical weapons themselves. According to experts, these videos prove nothing. President Macron can say whatever he wants. Until he shows evidence, there's no point in saying that he has evidence. I find it really disturbing that Western officials are claiming that they can't release some of the evidence because it will betray their intelligence sources on the ground. This is a lie. This is an opportunist method to basically claim whatever you want. I think the West has created so many tensions in the Middle East. The West has meddled in Iraq and destroyed it. The West has meddled in Libya and not only destroyed it, but created ISIS that has destroyed Syria practically all over the place. The West needs to get out of the Middle East. That's the point. They are creating problems there.
There are many people, I think, though, perhaps listening to you tonight, Alexander, who would say, with respect, you're just an apologist for President Putin, and that nobody but Russia seems to believe that President Bashar al-Assad and the Syrians didn't use chemical weapons.
Well, we are going in circles here. There is no proof, as I said. Now, what I also don't understand is why Western liberal democracies decide to go in and solve international problems. Let me give you an example. What will happen if Russia tells China and Iran to send missiles to Saudi Arabia to punish it for killing thousands and thousands of innocent civilians in Yemen, losing Western munitions? Now, that would probably cause World War III, right? Now, why would Russia allow President Trump, a billionaire who bought himself the presidency, by the way, let's be honest about it, and then French President Macron and Theresa May, who is in serious trouble and wants that serious trouble to disappear with these so-called adventures abroad and at home, why would the Russia and China allow these countries to do whatever the hell they want in Syria?
Okay,
Please
Kyle,
answer my
come back
question.
on that. Come back on exactly what Alexander has said there, Kyle.
Well, I think that, the Russians need to take some ownership by the fact that, first of all, they are doing very well in Syria, as a matter of fact. Assad has achieved most of his objectives vis-a-vis the Syrian rebels. So the use of chemical weapons here is really excessive, and the Russians need to have better control over their client to prevent these sorts of activities if they want to prevent the West from upholding their red lines against the use of chemical weapons, which he himself said is unacceptable. Now, I agree with him that this is not 2003. We do need to be sure, and we do need to have evidence before we act. However, there's no guarantee that an international body is going to be reliable. The Russians have already blocked very sensible proposals for investigations into what happened. So the Western intelligence officials are going to rely on the information that they're able to acquire. We need to make sure that our allies are on board, that the British, that the French understand what happened, that they are in agreement. But as long as we are confident in what we know about what took place, then we need to act on the basis of that.
Okay, Kyle Shideler and Alexander Nekrasov, thank you both very much for joining us.